So welcome everyone. The presentation is about to begin. This session will be recorded and will last about 60 minutes. Please keep your mic muted during the presentation, and you can keep your web cameras off or on if you'd like. TESOL requests that they're off, but we're such a small group this morning that I think it's okay if you keep them on, but that's your choice. If you have a question or a comment, please enter it during the chat during the presentation, and the presenter will address your questions at the end. All participants in today's event will have access to the recorded version, which will be available about 1 week after this live event. So today, TESOL International Association's Higher Education Intersection is pleased to present this webinar titled Integrating Social and Emotional Practices into Adult English Language Lessons. Our speaker today is Jičina Kartsova, and she is from Masaryk University in the Czech Republic. We are very pleased to welcome you to this webinar. My name is Melissa Farrow. I am co-chair of HEIS, and I'm joined today with my co-chair, Dini Gut, and for today's event. And now it is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Jičina.
Okay, so hello. So we are a very small group, which is good if you want to join, like turn on your cameras and maybe microphones so we can interact together during the presentation. That would be great. So feel free to do that if it's possible. And I will just introduce myself. So I'm an English language teacher and a teacher educator. So I brought here this topic from the K-12 and teacher education context, but the topic has the same importance in any other education context, in adult teaching as well. So I will be glad if you leave today with 3 things. Number 1 is the idea what social and emotional learning, what competencies it promotes. Then with some simple activities that you can use every day in your lessons, which promote students' social emotional competences. And number 3, with the idea how you can intentionally promote social emotional competences in your lessons, in your context, because we are all from different contexts. And maybe it would be also nice if you can share into chat, where are you from and where do you teach? So I would post into the chat that I'm from Czech Republic and that I teach young learners, very young learners, and adults at the university. Okay, hello Sylvia to Poland, cool, okay. And do you teach like bachelor students or master students?
Both bachelor and master and some doctoral students. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And what do you teach?
I teach mainly English, but mainly English for specific purposes and writing.
Okay, great, thank you. I don't know if Dini and Melissa want to join, and we have the answer from Joshi. Okay, from India. Hello, Joshi. That's great. Nice to meet you.
It's great to see you all, ma'am.
And you're teaching teacher education university, pursuing PhD. Okay, I'm doing my PhD as well. So good luck.
Same to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so we all teach adult students in different contexts. Well, that's great. Great to know. Okay, so let's go back. So in the classrooms, we all probably have like different students, the same students, but students from different cultures, from different contexts, from different countries. And sometimes this is how the students might feel in our classrooms when they are supposed to be learning. because as they come from different cultures, they might feel homesick. Maybe they experience culture shock. And some are refugees, some are immigrants who left their countries and bring back their traumatic experiences into our classrooms. And they also can have language barriers, so they cannot talk to us in their L1, maybe sometimes. And sometimes they don't even speak English. So it's hard to get to them and it's hard to start learning. So they might feel insecure and they might experience a wide range of big unpleasant emotions. They might suffer from anxiety, from depression. And that's happening to our students, especially in the conditions all around the world now with COVID and with wars and so on. So the emotions in the students are sometimes so well hidden that we don't see them. And also talking about our emotions might be a bit of taboo in some cultures. And as you can see in the picture, if this is how they feel, they are definitely not ready to learn productively. So we need to do with that something, and they need us, and we can help them to learn the skills to manage the storm around, to be ready to learn, like to be aware of themselves, of their thoughts, of their emotions, how to manage them, learn them how to participate with more confidence, how to be able to create relationships in the classroom, to feel they're secure, safe, and valued. And there are definitely much more skills needed for our students, but social and emotional learning is about these skills. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with the concept of social and emotional learning. So when you see here the wheel, social emotional learning wheel, what comes to your mind? Like, which competencies do you think are included in this model? So maybe you know that, maybe you don't know that, but think about that for a minute and then please post that into chat. But don't post it yet. We will wait until everyone knows their answer and then we will post that all at the same time. So now if you can only think about what can be the part of social and emotional learning competencies. And we welcome here Christine, who joined a bit later. Hello.
Hi.
Yichina, can we post now?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Intercultural communication, awareness of other people's emotions and feelings, mediation. Okay, great. Thank you. Any other ideas? Okay, definitely both fit into that context and both are the competencies of the social emotional learning. I will show you definition, which is by TESOL, which is Collaborative for Academic, Social and Emotional Learning. It's a big group and they started 28 years ago in 1994, just a long time ago. And since then, they want education to fully support the social, emotional and academic development of all children and adults. And they say that social emotional learning is the process through which all young people and all adults acquire and apply the knowledge, skills, and attitude to understand their thoughts, understand their emotions, values, and develop healthy identities, manage emotions and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. And these are the 5 core SEL competencies. And they have different colors. There is a reason for that. So the self-awareness and self-management have orange color, and they are intrapersonal competencies. That means that they are about ourselves. Awareness of self, management of self. And the green ones are intrapersonal. That means that they're about our approach to the others, awareness of others, relationship skills to others. And then the yellow one, the last one, responsible decisions making, is both intrapersonal and interpersonal. It's making decisions about myself and about the others. So, and for each of the competencies, there are many sub-competencies or specific skills that make up the whole competence. And I will show you here a list of plenty of them. So here are the 5 competencies, and for each I chose like 3 skills or sub-competencies that are integrated into the competence. For example, self-awareness, that means that the students identify their emotions. So there are many others, many more of them, but I chose plenty of them which are representative. So go through them and read all of them just to make sure that you understand all the points, and then we will do something next. Do you need more time, or did you have enough time to go through all of them? Okay, enough, great. So thank you. So now, when you look at these competencies, so which of the competencies do you already promote or practice in your lessons? And how? So I would give an example. For example, before or at the beginning of each lesson, we identify the emotions that we have, that we are coming into the classroom with. So I would say that this way I practice self-awareness, that they can identify their emotions. So think about that. It can be anything that you can think of that you do in the classroom that can lead to some of these competencies. And if you want to, you can share that either into chat, or you can tell it. You can turn on your microphone and you can tell it as well. But I know that it can be not very comfortable to share here online.
Okay, so I can start. Definitely what I do, I discuss the problems with learning English, because I have some courses with older adults, and we discuss the problems they have, and there is such kind of support I offer, and try to come up with some strategies, with some techniques, with some applications and things like that. So I suppose it is connected with social and emotional, because especially, let's say, older adults, they have some problems if they start, for example, learning languages at the later stage of their life, and they need more emotional and social support, my opinion. Okay.
Okay, Sylvia, thank you. Great. Yes, exactly. That definitely fits into the model. Thank you for sharing with us. And we also have here in chat that Melissa includes mostly 3 and 4, so social awareness and relationship skills, but don't do as much self-awareness and self-management interpersonal. Okay, thank you. If any other wants to share, you can share later. Oh, Christine, great. In reading, writing courses, we might practice some level of social awareness through guided peer reviews, self-awareness through reflective activities, definitely, yeah. Responsible decision-making, the most in class. Okay, Bine, okay, Christine, thank you. Thank you so much for participating. That's great. Okay, so you already do something, which is amazing. And we will go through some very simple activities that I believe some of you already do, but maybe you didn't even realize that they support students' social and emotional competencies. Because we often say that we don't have time for these cell activities. And true is that we often already do them. And we might only need to shift to doing them intentionally. Like I'm now doing this activity to support this competence. And the activities are like at the beginning of the lesson, we can do welcoming activities. And then we have engaging strategies, which we do throughout each lesson. And then closing activities that we do at the end of each lesson. And TESOL, that's the Collaborative for Academic and Social Emotional Learning, came with a playbook where they divide the cell activities into these 3 stages. So at the beginning, during, and at the end. And each of these stages has a different purpose. So the welcoming activities are activities or routines or rituals that build the community. It is important because they build the relationships in the classrooms. And it also connects the students to the work ahead so that they are prepared to learn in the class. Then we have the engaging strategies. Those are activities that you do throughout the lesson to practice the content that you are learning, but they also offer students to practice social emotional competences at the same time. So we somehow integrate the cell competences into the activities that we do to practice the content. And then we have the closing activity, when there is time for the students to stop and reflect what they have and where they are heading. So they can reflect on their learning, they can identify their next steps, they can have some questions they still have, or they can reflect on their feelings and emotions they had throughout the lesson. And this helps them to leave with appreciation, with energy, and looking forward to connecting again with the class. And the activities are intentionally very simple because it helps you to bring the activities into your class and make it a routine as a regular part of your day or of your lesson with the students. So we will begin with emotion check-in, which is the welcoming activity. And it is a very simple activity through which students can check, label their emotions at the beginning of the lesson. And I will not be talking about that anymore. We will try this together. So we will share with you a link to Padlet, and I will share with you here a mood matter. So I will describe that briefly. There are plenty of feelings, and they are divided into positive and negative feelings, or pleasant, unpleasant. And some of the feelings have low energy, and some of them have high energy. And for example, I don't know, if I say motivated, that has high energy, and it is a positive feelings. On the other hand, feeling bored is negative and have low energy. So some of the words might be difficult to understand. And therefore, there are the emoticons, which might help you and help our students to understand the meaning of the feelings, especially if they're not that familiar with English. So I want you to choose one or more, which best depicts how do you feel right now, and share that in the Padlet.
I just put the Padlet link in the chat. So if folks open up their chat, they'll be able to see that Padlet link.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Melissa. So you can share it there because it's anonymous. So sometimes this is important that students might not want the whole class to hear how they feel, especially when we start to do this kind of activities. So I hope you all know how to work in Padlet. There's a pink plus, which you click on, and there you can add a post. So someone feel energized. Okay, thank you. Okay, someone feel motivated. Cool. Inspired, upbeat, it's Friday. Okay, Zen, cool. That's very cool. Okay, pleasant. So we all are in the high energy or low energy, but positive feelings. And that's pretty cool. We are ready to learn now. Okay, great. Thank you very much for sharing your feelings. And it's good for us as teachers because now I know and we all know how we are feeling and that we are ready to go on. But if there were people who would say that they are, I don't know, down and alone and excluded, it won't be the good time to start learning because they won't be ready. And maybe they would need something to do something before they start learning. So when we realize this about our students, how they feel, and they hear how other students feel, it makes them it makes them to label their feelings. So they learn how to label their feelings, and they also learn that their emotions might change. So yesterday I was feeling bored, and today I'm feeling nervous, and tomorrow maybe I will feel energized. So it seems simple, but labeling emotions is a hard thing, even for adults. So alternatively, this can be done through different questions. So this might be quite difficult because talking about emotions and feelings might be difficult, especially in English if they don't speak English. But we may also ask them a question, for example, if you were an animal today, which animal would you be and why? Or if you were a weather today, which weather would you be and why? So I would be sunny because I feel energized and happy. Or maybe I would be storm because I feel very angry and upset. So we can practice that this way as well. So when you look back at the competencies, we did this activity. And which competencies do you think the activity promotes? And now we will do polls. And you can click on the question that you think, on the answer that you think that the activity promoted. Okay, so there are already some results, self-awareness, okay. And it can be more competencies, I forgot to say. So maybe it promotes all of them. That's also possible. So which of them do you think were promoted? Okay, so that should be all answers probably.
You know, Yichina, I thought I set this up as a multiple response, but it's only letting me respond one time. So I'm not sure how I messed up setting up the poll.
See.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So maybe we can share that in chat anyway. There are not so many people. So, but still you clicked self-awareness, social awareness, relationship skills. Okay, great. So exactly. I hope the polls are away. Are they? Or is it still visible? Stop sharing. Okay. No. So it definitely promotes self-awareness because the students can identify their emotions. Social awareness as well, because they hear other students saying their emotions or they see their responses. So they learn perspective taking and they see the diversity of the feelings and they respect that. And also responsible decision making, because they choose the feeling that best shows how they feel right now. And you also mentioned relationship skills. If we do the activity maybe slightly differently, we can do it the way that it promotes relationship skills as well. So it is every time about how we do the activity and which competencies do we want to promote through the activity. And then I wanted to show you another one which can be used as a welcoming activity, which is greeting. And how often do you greet your students? Because maybe we often forget to do that. And it's so important that we greet them by name when they come to our classroom. And the activity can be when we all are in the class, I can say, okay, now you have 2 minutes or more or less, depending on the size of the group. And within the time, your job is to introduce yourself, greet everyone in the room. So say, hello, Melissa, hello, Dini, and by name, and make a brief physical contact. And it could be a handshake, it can be high five, it can be fist bump, elbow bump, it can be hug, anything that is appropriate for the person who wants to make the contact and for the other one. And then you set the timer, and when the time is off, you give some attention signal that you agree on with the students, and then you can reflect with the whole group. So how's your energy? Why do you think we have maybe higher energy than before? And that's the activity. And it's especially important to reflect with the students after the activity, to talk to them what was the impact of the activity, because this way you get them reflect on what they did and reflect on which competencies they maybe practiced. So they might say that the energy got higher because they moved and they talked to other students. So it promoted the relationships in the classroom. And again, here we can think about which competencies did it promote. And I will just let you think for 10 seconds and I will tell that. We will share next time again. Okay, so it definitely promotes social awareness because we see the diversity of the physical context, diversity of how people greet, and we respect that. And then the second one is the relationship skills, because we engage with our classmates, we build the relationships in the group, which is definitely important for their well-being and for their learning. So important is that you use these activities not just to practice SEL without understanding their real purpose. You need to plan them and use them intentionally. Like you need to know why you use them and which competencies they promote and how. And then I use the activity. That is why we did the reflection after the greeting, for example, with the students, because it helps us to reflect on what we did and what it brought, and maybe which competencies we practiced when we did that. So then we have the engaging strategies, the activities that we do throughout the lesson. And the first one, I think you probably know and do, but I only want to point to which competencies it promotes, because maybe we didn't even realize. So we already did that. I gave you during some activity, some think time before you shared. And that's the very similar activity. Think, ink, pair, share. So you give think time to students. So think about this topic. You have 2 minutes, think about that. Then write notes and share in pair with your classmate. And then the students can share together with the whole class. So this way they are supported by their peers. They don't have to generate the ideas only by themselves. And they also share their ideas together before they share them with the whole group, which is much more safer than if we would ask them just to share their answers without any preparation, or share them alone without any support from their classmates. And the question is, again, which competencies do you think it promotes? So what do you think? Can you write that into chat? Okay, social awareness. Definitely social awareness, because we take others' perspectives as we hear the ideas of the other students. So that's definitely promoted competence. And any other? Is there any other? Okay, social awareness as well, yeah. Relationship skills, that's a good one also, yeah. So we build working relationships with the classmates. So we collaborate, we interact together, we use effective communication, we listen to each other. Those are all relationship skills. And we again can point to that with the students. So which skills did you use when talking with your partner? What helped you to agree on some ideas? And again, we can point to the social emotional competences it promotes. Okay, cool. So I would add some. I would add self-management, because the students need to take initiative and they need to self-regulate themselves when sharing with a partner. So that's also promoted competence. And then we have relationship skills, social awareness, we said that already, and then responsible decision making. And that is that they make judgment what to share, and they also reflect on their role in the group. So they need to decide how they will collaborate together. So that was the first activity. And then we have another one, and you also know this one, it's brain breaks. That's important, especially in longer classes with all level of students, doesn't matter which level students we have. And these activities consist of activities which help students turn off their brains for a while, stop thinking, regain the focus, or calm down, or boost the energy. So again, depending on the needs of your group, you will create brain break. And I have one that I can show you, or we can do it together. So you don't have your cameras on, so I don't know if you want to do that, but I can instruct you to do that, and we can do it together. If you don't feel comfortable to do that, you don't have to. If you want to, you can join us, okay? So the name is Focus Ball, and this one is on regaining focus, on concentrating and regaining the concentration in the class. So stand or sit with legs and feet together. And now bring your palms together in front of your chest and keep your fingerprints touching. As you pull your palms apart, forming a ball with your fingers. This way you form a ball. Okay, press your fingerprints together until you feel the muscles in your hands and arms activating. And now close your eyes. And as you breathe in, inflate your ball. And as you breathe out, flatten the ball by pushing your palms together. Okay, so imagine how the ball gets bigger as you again inhale, and then how it flattens as you exhale. Okay, we will continue doing this for some more seconds. I will let you know when the time is off. So inflate the ball, and then again, exhale. You might have some thoughts coming into your mind. Just greet them and let them go again. Focus only on the ball and on your breath. Okay, we will do that 2 more times. Amazing. Okay, thank you. We can open your eyes and get back to the classroom and maybe refocused. I don't know. How did you feel during this activity? That's a question for you. You can post into chat. So how do you feel? Has anything changed for you? Well, we did like 30 seconds of the activity, but still, how was it for you? Beanie is definitely more focused. That's amazing. Thoughtful. Okay, cool. Okay, thank you, Yvonne. Refreshed. Cool. Okay, thank you. For me, it's as well. It's like it helps me concentrate and get back to myself, because my thoughts are sometimes like I have big thoughts in my head. So, and the students have that as well. Like they are thinking about different things during the lesson, and we need to refocus that at some point in the classroom. Okay. And now, what do you think? Which competencies do you think we promoted through this? Self-awareness. Okay. Thank you. Any other ideas? Self-management, cool. Yeah, self-management, well done, perfect, great job. Yes, self-management, definitely, because we use coping strategy to manage stress, right? Self-discipline as we self-regulate. And Dina said self-awareness, which is also great. Yes, we identify our emotions, we identified our thoughts going through our mind. It's also great for instructors' social emotional well-being as well. Yeah, thank you, Melissa. Yeah, for sharing that, because that's where everything begins. Like when we can practice these competencies, and when we have these competencies, only then we can share them with our students. So we are the first who should be aware of our emotions, our feelings, and yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's go to the last section, which are the closing activities. Okay. So the first one is snowballs. So the closing activities help us or provide the students space to reflect on their feelings during the lesson or on the content that they have learned. And the first way how to do that might be snowballs. And it is that the students can have a piece of paper and they will write on a piece of paper what they have learned today. So what is their takeaway? And they will take the piece of paper and they will make a snowball from the piece of paper, like this. And when they have the snowball, everyone at the same time will throw up into the sky, and then they will find someone else's snowball and they will open it and read it, what is written inside. And they will together share their accomplishments. So for example, I would open a piece of paper where Melissa would say, I'm taking away which cell competencies, which 5 core cell competencies are. And the other one will say, okay, great, Melissa, perfect, that's amazing. And another person will share. So this way, the people can share what they have learned. And we can also like celebrate the success or point to the success of other people, which is very important for us and for the others as well. And this can be done anonymously or not, depending again on the group. And through this, we promote self-awareness because we perceive how we feel, what we have learned, that's self-awareness. And then social awareness, because we see and respect the diversity of what others share. And then relationship skills, because again, we communicate effectively. We listen to each other and we develop positive relationships, also through emphasizing their achievements. And then I have another one. I am curious, and we will not do this now because we will do that at the end of the presentation. And I will ask you at the end to reflect on something that you are curious to learn more about. So complete the sentence. I am curious to learn more about something. So which competencies do you think will we practice through this activity that we will do in a few minutes? What do you think? Self-awareness, okay. Oh, I will show you this so that you can see, sorry. Okay, so we have self-awareness, social awareness, self-awareness and responsible decision-making. Okay, any others? Decision-making. Yeah, we can see the 5C, right? Demonstrate curiosity and open-mindedness. Okay, so thank you very much for sharing. You are right, it promotes self-awareness because we again perceive how we feel, what we have learned. That's self-awareness. And what we are curious about, what we still want to learn. And then it promotes social awareness because we hear what others say, we take their perspectives and see the diversity. And the last one is you're saying responsible decision-making because we demonstrate the curiosity. Okay, great. So these were the activities I wanted to show you. Welcoming activities, that's the very first group, where we create a safe climate of inclusion, connecting. Students can be welcomed by name. They can reflect on their feelings to focus or identify their needs. They can connect to the content ahead in the class. Then we have the engaging strategies through which students practice SEL while learning the content. So we use activities in which the students can interact with others, they can collaborate, they can build the relationships, and those which help them stay focused and ready to learn or energize their energy, boost their energy. And the last, closing activities, which offer space for adult learners to reflect on their learning process. So on their content, on their feelings, on their accomplishments, so that they leave with some appreciation, with some energy, looking forward to connecting and meeting again. So I'm sure you already do a lot of activities which promote student self. And now I would like you to think about activities. And I mean now anything that you do with the students in the classroom, and answer this question. So out of the range of the activities that you do, which SEL competencies do you already promote through them? And try to be specific, like try to think about specific activities that you do and the SEL competencies that they promote. And now we will do the think time. So you will have, let's say, 2 minutes to think about that. You can make notes and write that down, because then we will make groups, or maybe we will do that together. I don't know, maybe we'll do breakout rooms, and we will share that in the groups and in the Padlet as well. So let's have some 2 minutes think time to think about that. Okay, great. So it's 2 minutes already. So now we can go into the group, and here is the support of the competencies again. And I will give you a link to Padlet. And maybe Dini has one. Okay, great. So it's, thank you, Dini. It's in the chat. And we will create one group, and you will be in the group, and your task is to share in the group the activities with the competencies that they promote, and share them to the Padlet. So it's Padlet will look like this. Here you have the SEL competencies, so that you can click on that and it's a support for you, and you can add the activities here. So whether it's an opening activity, engaging strategy, or closing activity. So right there, the description of the activity plus the competencies that it promotes. Or maybe when there's a group of, we are a small group, so maybe we can share here together. So maybe can someone share, or can you write that into the Padlet, what you have just thought about? So the link to the Padlet is in chat. Okay, so someone already shared that they have students do 3-1, write 3 things they've learned, 2 things they want to know more about, and 1 thing they still don't understand. That's definitely a great closing activity, which would promote self-awareness, social awareness, responsible decision making. Okay, dancing to a Just Dance video. That's amazing. Definitely good for self-management, exactly. Learning journal, reflecting over what they have learned and how they feel about that. That's very cool as well. Thank you for sharing that. You can add there the competencies if you know which competencies it promotes. Okay, Joshi is leaving. Good night, Joshi, and thank you for participating. Okay, and then we have another one, musical chairs, but when they talk to a student and then change. And weekend plans. On Monday, I'll ask students to discuss what they did over the weekend. On Friday, I'll ask them to discuss their plans for the weekend. Planning together. That's great. That's a great for relationship building, especially, right? Okay, do someone want to like give more description to the musical chairs? I'm not sure what it means. You want to explain that? I don't know who wrote that. If you want to explain this activity.
That might have been, maybe that was Joshi who had to leave, I'm thinking.
That might be, okay, but it sounds engaging. It sounds interesting. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for sharing. So we have some great activities that we do. And when we go back, okay, now I'm sharing, great. So these are some small things that we can do that might help our students to manage all the big emotions and all the challenging situations around them when they come to the classroom, so that they feel safe and emotionally well in the class, and they are ready to learn productively. And of course, these skills are necessary even outside of the classroom. And as you saw, the activities, they're very simple, and you can maybe do what you already do, only with a small change that you do that intentionally to practice student social emotional learning. Or maybe you can make a routine from some of these activities to implement them into your daily lessons. And you can also reflect on the activities with the students. Maybe we often forget that this is one of the most important moments when we reflect on the activities, or when we reflect on something. That's where learning happens. And if you have any question, you can ask now or let me know via email. And as a very last thing, could you please finish this sentence? I'm curious to learn more about. Okay, about the other participants, I would be curious to learn more about you as well, about engaging activities. Okay, about other teachers with more advanced students and TESOL. Integrating TESOL into academic coursework. Okay, great, yes. We are working on integrating TESOL into academic coursework, so if you're interested, we can definitely share this together, Christine. Academic writing, yeah. And someone told here that you do academic writing, right? That was
me.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. So if anyone other want to share, you can share. Otherwise, thank you very much for being here, for staying here. I don't know what time is where you are at the moment, but great that you came. It's Friday, so it's hard to focus on Friday, right?
Thank you so much.
And so with that, I think we shall conclude today's online program. Today's presentation was titled Integrating Social Emotional Practices into Adult English Language Classrooms. Special thank you to Yachina for today's presentation. This concludes our program. And if you have no further questions, you should disconnect. And we hope to see you soon at another HEIS webinar.